does a
So,
show about drinking and then drinks the night before? That's me.
how much do
That's
you have?
me. I had a good amount.
Did you? What
Yeah,
were you drinking?
it was the
Liquor or
cheapest.
beer?
It was the cheapest of the cheap beers. Sir, I was at the hockey game,
Ah,
and it was $2 Miller High Lifes, um, two at a time, because that's
ooh,
what you do. They'll sell you two at a time, $2 a piece. Um, Derek and I just went up
heck yeah!
two handed and clanging. Um, Woke up a little rough, man, and then hung out with you a little bit, and now we're doing this. It's
Well, now we're
Thursday.
gonna do this. It is
I'm Mike.
Thursday. I'm Brendan.
This is Two Dudes Wearing Hats. Make sure you like, subscribe wherever you are watching this show live. Go to 2DWH for all the links, all the information. Once again, I'm Mike. He is Brendan. Realized, hold on.
I made it
I was
bounce too
messing around with
much
the
when I
thing.
did that.
I was messing around with the thing. I took our names off. I had to put our names back up on the screen.
Ah, I see. I
Yeah.
see. So, what are you up to? Why were you drinking? You were
Water.
hockey.
I
Oh,
thought
now
what am
you're
I
on.
drinking?
You're on water to start.
Well, water to start. I've got some ice here. We're gonna put some whiskey in that here in a moment. But my wife won tickets. Disclaimer, and I'm gonna my advice for the week. If you're walking through a supermarket, if you're walking through a store, if you're walking through some place and you see those stupid little displays that say, "Hey, do you want free shit? Sign up for this thing. Scan this QR code. You might win something free." Every once in a while, do it.
Yeah.
My wife did something for a food product whose name I can't even think of at the moment. But it was one of those you scan it and you sign up for the thing. Thought nothing of it. A month later, she gets an email. We got free tickets to this thing. So we decide to go. We get these tickets. We go to the game. Didn't think about where these tickets would be because they were free from something. These were like in the season tickets section. We were
Ooh,
pretty damn low. We were about 8 rows back. I was able to yell at the other team's goalie loud enough. He looked up at me,
nice.
and I gave him the bird, and I told him he
Eh,
sucks, and I hope he snaps his ankle.
oh, now that's too far.
And
No
then I went back
injury.
to my beer. Yeah, I'm a goalie.
Too far.
Goalie.
Too far.
What are you drinking?
Um, I am. Should I start with beer?
I'm gonna pour a little bit of whiskey to get us rocking and rolling. I'm drinking the same thing as last week, the Basil Hayden toast.
I will follow your lead with the same thing as last week with this bottle of Maker's Mark,
We
and
said we drink.
start.
We never said we were like constantly original, y'all. That's
Hey,
not the
the
pitch.
beer changes weekly.
Beers of the week. The beer is always of the week.
The liquor is. Don't make me get a new bottle every week, please. I don't have the budget for that.
I
I
don't have the
just
desire for that. I like
yeah,
certain
yeah,
things over and over. I like whiskeys.
yeah, and
Mm.
sometimes there's ones that are just easy to stay and maintain on. Makers is one of those to me. I'm not hitting like a major barrel strength Evan Williams or anything, or is it Evan Williams barrel strength or
There's nothing wrong with Evan Williams.
no. Evan Williams single barrel used to be on my shelf at work. I
Yeah,
love that single barrel.
yeah.
It was quite good.
The single barrel is very nice. The white label is great for if you're just like mixing it with ginger ale or
That's the
something and
bonded,
just
right?
trying to drink it. Yeah, the 100 proof. That's great for that. The black label's good. I've used that for eggnog before. I've used that for like
Ooh.
gigantic, like big batch cocktails, and you're just
Yeah.
making a bunch of shit pre-made. Use the black label. Use enough of it, nobody's gonna be able to tell the difference. Especially stuff you're putting a ton of fruit juice in and like a ton of like sugar and shit like that. Don't use good whiskey. You don't need to use really good whiskey. These people that make like batch cocktails with like the nicest whiskey possible. Like,
Oh yeah, there's no reason. Yeah.
thank you, but you could have just poured me that.
Right,
But yeah,
right. Who did the Cyclones play last night?
they played the Grizzlies, I believe was their name.
Denver or Utah? Well, they used to
Denver.
be Utah. Now they're
I think it was
Denver.
Denver, the Denver Grizzlies last night.
Yeah. They had a goalkeeper back in the day I really enjoyed named Tommy Salo. I had a
The Cyclones were
Denver
beating the
Grizzlies
shit
jersey.
out of them,
Yeah.
beating the ever loving shit out of them.
Is
It was
that
a great
fighting or is
game.
that scoring?
Scoring on them. There was a couple fights. They were boarding all night long and not getting the call, but like they were all night. Like these two were very aggressive. These two teams were hitting each other against the board, hitting each other pretty hard. Like
Nice.
good, fun, aggressive hockey game. Nothing to complain about there. Went and had chicken wings before that. I went to Jefferson Social. I always like to go somewhere and eat right down there at the banks whenever I go to the arena right there.
Yeah.
I had Cincinnati chili wings. They were dry rub. So it was a dry rub of Cincinnati chili seasoning. So you
That's
kinda
interesting.
got that cumin, that sweetness, a little
Yeah.
bit of that spice. It was really, really good, actually.
Let me tell you my favorite thing that Jefferson Social used to do, and it's something I would love to recreate or feel free to recreate in your time. But who doesn't love a good mozzarella stick or a good cheese stick? You know, do you like
Mhm.
mozzarella sticks? You like cheese sticks?
I'm, 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 I'm half and half on mozzarella sticks.
They used to have them where they were wrapped in an egg roll wrapper, and looked like an egg roll, and they were
Mm.
massive, and they had shaved cheese fresh over the top of them and a homemade red marinara. So they were absolutely fantastic.
At that point, we're kind of almost getting into that's my meal. At that point, like you can give me a vegetable and like a protein, and that's my meal essentially. Like a piece of meat
But
and
cheese
then a
is your side
vegetable.
item.
That's your carb. Like that's that instead of that, you can't have that and a bowl of pasta. Good lord, you'd fall apart.
Maybe you'd be
I would
plugged
eat
up.
that. Just give me steak, cheese, sauce. Let's go. Steak and marinara is not that great though. It might need to be like chicken. Chicken would be really good with that. This is the show. This is what you tuned in for.
Wow.
Um,
You lost me
us,
for a second. I was like, we were talking about hockey, and there was
us,
going to be.
us brainstorming
Was there a?
weird Italian foods.
Let me ask you this. So you were having there were cans that you had there at the stadium, right?
We were actually
Did you
right
contribute
behind.
to a
We were right
pyramid?
behind the pyramid. The pyramid
Oh,
was at the end. We were about like we were row H, and the pyramid was right there. So
who took the pyramid down? Player or fan or security?
multiple players. They kept rebuilding. Multiple players. Um,
Explain the pyramid for those that might not
if
know.
you're if you don't know what a pyramid is and you're watching this, um, a pyramid, you take your empty cans, you line them up on the wall around the hockey rink against the glass, so where you make a pyramid shape. So, where you make a line, and then what the intelligent ones do is make a juxtaposed, slightly off second row. Don't stack can. Don't
Inside of
stack
can.
can on can. You're asking for
No.
trouble. You have to do that brick pattern
Right.
thing with the cans. That was the thing that they weren't doing. They were
The
like
T
just
stacking method.
they
It's
were
called.
just stacking them on top of each other, and just like the lean and the push was what they were trying to use to keep it. I think someone needs
The
to
lean
go
and the
get-
push. If that would have been used on the Egyptian pyramids, it would not still be here. I'm
put the lean
sorry.
and the push on it. No, so
there's a reason those fuckers work.
what I also think someone needs to do, because if you're looking at a hockey rink, hold on.
Uh oh. Do you have visual aids? You love visual aids.
I do love a hockey rink, or I do love a visual aid. So let's say that we're talking about a hockey
Now,
arena. Let me share my screen. So this is our arena, right? Let's say we're sitting
yeah.
over here. What people will sometimes do is start in the middle, right? They'll start in the middle of these two bars.
Oh
And they'll
yeah.
just kind of start building one up, and then they'll start adding on to the side. I think that's bullshit. I think that's bad pyramid construction. If you're watching this and you're thinking about building a pyramid, I dare you, go one bar to the other bar first. Let's establish that super solid base. Let's get cans lined up, because I think you could perfectly wedge that row of cans in between in between those things. Get a good solid base, because then maybe every hit isn't taking the whole structure down. I think you need to make sure that bottom, that booty of that pyramid is wedged in there. Then you got to do the juxtaposed line.
There's a
slight
reason
off
that Khufu and
line.
Khafre's pyramids are still standing at Giza, and it's because of that booty I believe is what you said.
Yes.
That pyramid booty.
That pyramid ass. That pyramid has to have some ass.
Okay, that pyramid has to have some ass. It's funny you say Cyclones. I have something here next to me. I thought I'd show you. That's kind of cool. Uh, my uncle took me early on, and I saw a great post from the local shirt company. It's pretty easy to figure out which shirt company that is if you think about it, if you're local. But they said, I feel sorry for those people who never got to experience a game here, and it was the Cincinnati Gardens. And I luckily, my uncle had season tickets, and I got to go to a couple games of the Cincinnati Gardens. It was very cool.
One of my uncles took me, same thing as a kid.
Here is the classic logo, the best logo.
There isn't a better sports logo. Okay, the Bengal is really great, but that logo is hard as fuck.
Now this is kind of rubbed off, but this is what I think is pretty cool. This is a puck from the night that the logo changed. So they had the
controversial change when it went from the masked hockey player making the letter C with his arms to the tornado.
I was gonna make it disappear.
If they ever could go back to that logo, I think that would be the most popular move in Cincy sports for the Cyclones just to announce, hey, we're changing the logo
100%.
Back to the dude with the C, the mask. And like, I think there's something so, I love any logo that has a hockey mask, like the Jason Voorhees style hockey mask in the logo. If it's part of like your mascot, like when the Mighty Ducks did that with like the duckbill shaped hockey mask, I love that anytime that they.
And this mascot's name is Twister, and he just doesn't have the same aggression. Right. He doesn't. I mean, Twister's all right. He just doesn't have that same.
Well, now we also have Puck Chop. We have like a pig.
Oh yeah.
Cincinnati, everything has to have a pig.
Damn pig.
Flying pig.
Porkopolis.
City. Porkopolis. Okay,
yeah, for sure.
Great. Sure.
I like bacon.
That is good whiskey.
Good whiskey.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, how you like this old one I pulled out? I was trying to pull out something surprising.
So, I very often am looking for things in that color. That color is
purple?
Very hard to like unless I want to get like an old school LA Kings, which I'm not gonna fucking do.
Let me show you my Liverpool purple kit sometime. It's pretty sweet.
That is a beautiful jersey. Tell the people about that.
This was, if I recall, okay, number one, I know that this jersey is from the mid-90s and it's still in great condition. I know it is because I've had it since then, because when I was a kid and I would play street hockey or play hockey around, I would wear pads and then put the jerseys over the top of them. So me at my current age is the same size as me in hockey pads at 16.
Yes!
So yeah, this is one of the jerseys I wore, but I would get these AHL, ECHL, whatever league we were in at the time, other jerseys. I had Utah Grizzlies. I had the Minnesota Moose. I had the Houston Aeros. I have the Indianapolis Ice. And I would have these jerseys because I would wear them under a Cyclones jersey to the game. And then after the game, I would go to the Cyclones locker room and get autographs. And then I would walk over to the other locker room, strip the Cyclones jersey off, and be like one of 2 or 3 people there with the other team and get these other players' autographs. My uncle taught me that, Uncle Jim. He showed me. We would wait around the locker room. Sometimes I would just.
He says that with pride. He says that with pride. You double jerseyed.
Yeah.
2 hockey jerseys on.
Yeah.
And then at some point you go in the bathroom, and this is the Gardens. This isn't the Gardens, so right?
Nah, yeah. Okay. No, you just take it off and carry it with you.
Just
no one notices.
Mid-stride.
Yeah, I was with my uncle. He would carry it. You had jackets.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, my uncle used to take me to baseball games, and then like we would go. They were night games, and then we'd go around the back, and I was like 11, standing in the back of Riverfront Stadium at like 12:30 at night, waiting for baseball players to leave in their cars, hoping to get autographs, and then. It was a parking lot, so they're leaving from the arena garage, and it has like multiple lanes, and people would stand on the like concrete medians between lanes, and that was like prime spot because they have to like walk pretty much drive right past you, and it was a weird
Riverfront was a
situation as
great
kid.
looking stadium. It
Beautiful.
was cool. The perfect circle there. I don't know. I like Riverfront.
It had that like jagged looking structuring on the outside that kind of gave it a nice like gate look.
You know what's funny? We were going to talk about this last week and we didn't talk about it, but Paycor might be having the name changed on the stadium. You recall?
Yeah, Paycor Stadium does have some things going on where they're not the stadium itself, but the
The company is being bought out.
sold to a company called Paychex, Paychex, which, from what I read, was their biggest competitor. It was their biggest rival, based out of New York, and they have sold to Paychex.
I can't take them seriously without thinking they're like a food.
Paychex. Like, I hope it's that they don't just call it like Paychex Stadium. That sounds low rent. That sounds hood rat as hell.
There's only 2 names for that stadium. And there's only 2 names that you should name that stadium. If you're going to rename the stadium and it's not going to be Paycor, which I didn't like in the first place. I don't know. I hate the sponsorship thing. The 2 things I would name it, coming in at number 2, would be Paul Brown Stadium.
Okay.
Go back to Paul Brown. It's easy. Number 1, go back to Riverfront. Call it Riverfront.
Call
as
it
a
Riverfront
tribute
Stadium.
as a tribute to the old stadium and everything. Call it Riverfront Stadium. I wouldn't mind that.
Here's what I
But you know what? There's no Riverfront that's paying money for the sponsorship, so there's no.
I think you still
way that happens.
still get the sponsorship involved. I think you have to have it. It has to be kind of a longer name. I propose
The banks of Riverfront and get all the businesses, or
The Jungle by Paychex, brought to you by Paychex. But you call it The Jungle, like
Paychex sounds like something I want to eat. I hear checks like Chex Mix, like
it's Friday. I got to eat these paychecks.
Oh,
Let's go.
man.
Num 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 num.
I gotta
num,
get
num,
this
num,
paychecks. Man, I don't know. Yeah, Bob kind of agreeing with me there a little bit on go back to Paul Brown.
num.
You're not a big fan of that?
I don't think we need to go back to naming it after a person. Like, I think
And if you do, it's got to be after Joe Burrow, right?
rip the corporate names off of everything. Call it just go weird. Don't even go football. Just call it the Marge Shot. Just
The Marge Shot.
Shotzi Stadium. Shotzi Stadium. There
It's a
you go.
completely different sport.
Exactly. That's why people will be scratching their heads about it. People come from out of town like, why is it called Shotzi Stadium? It was the Reds owner's dog. Why the Reds? This is a football stadium. Exactly.
Just do it to confuse people.
Just to have people wondering, like, why is the shoe called the shoe? Why?
Because it's shaped like a horseshoe.
Yeah, but like,
you weren't ready for me to come right back with that, were you?
I didn't think it was going to be that just bland of an answer.
Yeah, that's why.
Horseshoe. I thought it was going to be like Roberto L. Schumacher made he's the reason the seat folds the way it does. He revolutionized stadium seating. He's the reason your ass doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Roberto L. Schumacher.
Yeah.
Chairman.
He put the mocker in the seat.
The mocker, that's what they called it, the mocker mechanism.
Yeah. And then when you do this, that's the Macarena. You're welcome.
Cheers.
All right. I finished mine. You want to do a beer?
Yeah, we can drink a beer.
Do we have a beer of the week? You have a beer of the week?
I have a beer of the week.
A beer of the week. I've got a different beer than I've ever had as well. Well, I've had one of my. I have 2 options. You're gonna choose. I've had one of them. One of them I haven't had.
I've had one of them. One of them I haven't had.
That's pretty much it.
That's like a country song. That's a country song title.
Both
I've had one of them. One of them I haven't had. I've had one of them. One of them I haven't had.
That poor girl.
It was good. Ew.
So,
all right.
Both are Cincinnati breweries. Where's your brewery?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati as well?
Yeah, we're keeping it super local this episode.
Yeah, we are. Is it actually Cincinnati or is it Greater Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
Okay. Just curious.
I agree with Bob in the chat. Do the one that you haven't had.
The one that I haven't had is from my lesser favorite of the two breweries, but
Lesser
okay, I will do
favorite of the two.
that.
Okay.
my I have a beef with this brewery a little bit over something.
Brewery. First off, we're the online beer drinking guys. We can't really afford a lot of like brewery beef
I don't have a beef
right now. He said, "I don't have beef.
It's
Chicken."
just because of the typical thing you would think it would be, and I have some anger toward this place because they associated with another city that they shouldn't have associated with and put their beers in a stadium and bragged about it on their social media, and they shouldn't have done that. And they rubbed a
They
lot of us the wrong way.
soccer beef.
Soccer beef,
Soccer beef. Okay.
because they put their beer in another city.
Who's that brewery?
Rheingeist. You got a Rheingeist as well.
I got a Rhine guys too.
Do you want to guess what my other Cincinnati brewery was?
Your other Cincinnati brewery, I'm gonna guess was 50 West.
No. Go the two big ones in Cincinnati. Who are the two big breweries?
Mad Tree.
Boom, Mad Tree.
Yeah.
Psychopathy was the other
Mad
one.
Tree Psychopathy.
I have had Psychopathy. I enjoy Psychopathy.
Always a good choice. You can never go wrong with that beer.
Bob is having what I had last week, it looks like. Bob's having a Three Floyds Jinx Proof. That wasn't too bad. For a lager, I didn't mind it too much. But anyway, do you want me to do mine first and then you do your beer of the week there?
Go for it.
This is called Kiwi the Bird.
Kiwi the Bird?
Yep, Kiwi, parentheses, the Bird. A New Zealand-style pale ale.
Huh.
Kiwi, the bird, not the fruit. This New Zealand-style IPA uses the choicest Southern Hemisphere hops for a profile chock-a-block with tropical fruit aromas and vibrant melon and citrus flavors. You'll want to keep a few of these in the chili bin.
What is that word? Profile chock-a-block?
Chock-a-block, a profile chock-a-block with tropical fruit aromas. It's a New Zealand term for full of, you're chock-a-block full of energy. I don't know.
Why did you say that with
revving
a Scottish
up.
accent?
I don't. Was it an Irish accent?
I
I think it's the only accent I can
Scottish.
default to, or something. Yeah. So anyway, we're going into a Guinness glass with it.
Nothing
I
wrong
don't know
with
why.
that. Nothing wrong with that.
I had my
We're going
Guinness.
into a Brooklyn Brewery glass tonight.
Oh, there you go. That was one of my favorite beer tours I ever have taken. Was at Brooklyn
Really cool
Brewery.
place. A lot of their interesting stuff that I've had is always really fun. Their bottle series is always really neat. But I also have a Rheingeist beer. This is Rheingeist Truth Bomb. This is an Imperial IPA clocking in at 9.5%. This says Truth Bomb, Imperial India Pale Ale, the hop hero we deserve. Unapologetically bold, fearlessly hopped, incredibly honest. This Imperial IPA emerges from the shadows to bring righteous flavor back to the streets. A super group of hops join forces for a profile bounding with stone fruit, pine, and ripe melon. Have no fear, Truth Bomb is here to save the day. Hop pow.
Jesus.
Hop pow. It's a lot of words. So it's just like comic booky, I guess.
Have you ever shucked corn?
Have I ever shucked corn?
I'm coming out of nowhere with some of my random thoughts here. Have you ever shucked corn?
Like, yeah, shucked. Like, I've never.
Have you ever peeled the husk back on a corn?
Yes.
On a corn cob. You know that smell, the corn husk? I don't know how to describe it. That's what this beer reminded me of. The minute I smelled it, it was a freshly peeled back ear of corn. I don't know.
Corn's a really great flavor in things. I remember at one of the bars I worked at, one of the bartenders
100%.
made a sweet corn syrup where he would roast corn on the cob, cut it off the cob, blend it up, make a sweet syrup with it, and make a drink with it. It was fantastic.
Oh,
Corn whiskey is wonderful.
this is IPA I'd recommend for the. This is 7%, but I'll tell you what, the IBU can't be that high. The IBU being your kind of like hoppiness scale.
Yeah.
Because it's not real hoppy. It's got a little bit of bite right at the beginning, but then it's really, really simple, clean. Kind of get that grapefruit melon on the end. I like it.
That one really leans I mean, it's 9.5%. The alcohol comes through a little bit more. It's a little bit hotter. Uh, I wouldn't say it tastes like Truth though, like a hopped up version of Truth. It tastes kind of
That's
like
what I
it's
was
an
wondering.
IPA flavor.
That's what I was wondering. Is it jacked up Truth basically? Is it?
No,
Because I've drank a few Truths in my
no.
day.
It kind of almost feels like they are making their like Zombie Dust Super IPA, like big boy
It
IPA.
could be their custom,
Um, this
imperial.
this this is not our sessionable IPA. This
Yeah,
is not a session IPA, which is a weird term to me.
that is
I
such a weird.
understand where it comes from. I understand
How did
session
that get
IPA.
explained to you?
You can have a few of them because they're lower ABV. I'm like, so beer.
It was explained to me that you can have a few in one session. Like
Right.
that's you're
Like it's a
drinking. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
session IPA.
It's
Like
a
you have a
sessionable
few.
IBA. Yeah, yeah.
Like
You're drinking.
what? Like not trying to sound like any kind of way. Every beer is sessionable to me then. Um
No, that's called an
like
alcoholic,
what
sir.
are we talking about? Like you can have more than one of these. Like yes.
Those
This is
beers.
America.
Most of the most of the imperials, though. Okay, I would say sessionable is 3 or more.
Ooh, that's a good conversation. What is a session? What is like I'm gonna go have a few beers. What is that?
If I go out to have a beer, I might have a second.
I'm definitely having two. I'm having three probably if we're doing something like eating or like we're there watching a game or something like
Yeah, no,
that.
I'm not that guy.
I'm probably going to three. Um, but if I'm getting a beer, I'm probably getting two beers. That's kind of like the default because the first one's just gonna clang. The first one's just gone. Like don't that one doesn't really count.
That's
That
to
one's just
cleanse.
gonna get
That's to cleanse the
overheated.
palate for
Exactly.
the
That's
drinking
just be
that's to
like,
come.
all right, we got to get ready for the taste of beer.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta coat my mouth in beer to prepare it for beer.
Yeah, I've got to get my stomach
Understand?
and my system ready for four more beers. Um, but no, a beer is two beers. Having a few beers means I'm probably going out and having that's the three. That's maybe also a shot. That's probably because there's also food. If I'm having more than two beers, I'm probably
I
putting like,
can't.
food in my
I'm.
stomach at the place that I'm at.
I've found a few other people like this as
You
I've
don't like
been.
to drink and eat.
No, no. Like I will. Let's say I'm having this beer right now, and I've ordered food. The minute my food arrives, give me a Coke, give me a lemonade, give me a water. I will put the alcohol aside because if I mix immediately beer and food, it just upsets my stomach. I will eat all my food. Once I'm done with my food, I will finish my non-alcoholic drink, and then I'll go back to drinking. I've found a few other people. Bob says he's the same way. I've met some other people who will do that, and when I've been working in restaurants, they're like, "Can I have something else while I'm eating?" Like, I
Yeah,
would.
like, I like having a glass of water with me when I'm sitting there having a meal.
There's very few beers I could eat food with. Garage beer might be one of them. But I always still have a non-alcoholic something with me, like to set off. I just can't mix beer and food that well.
See, I think I always run into the situation where we will go places out of town, and a lot of times it's when asking the question where are we going to get something to eat. One of the easiest places to look is breweries. They're usually pretty clean. They usually have decent parking. And you find one with food, you can usually get pretty decent food now at a brewery. Most of them have wings or good pizzas or stuff like that.
Yeah,
So we usually happen to be eating at a place that is like for beer. So I've usually got
and a
it
lot of
always
times
happens I'm out of town with a flight in front of me when my food gets sitting down in front of me.
yeah,
So I'm gonna still kind of drink it.
and a lot of times when you have a brewery that doesn't have its own food, they will have food trucks, and I love a good food truck. There's
Love a
just
good food truck.
I love a food truck at a brewery. There's something just really awesome about the food off of a food truck at a brewery or
I
at a
like
street festival
bold
or something.
food trucks. Like tacos are great, but I like the companies that go a little bit further and choose more interesting options, like Marty's Waffles. It's like a waffle food
Yeah.
truck.
One of
Things
my
like that where it's
favorites
kinda
back in the
off the beaten
day
path.
was Cheese and Chongs.
Cheese
They
and
were
chong.
specialty grilled cheeses. They had a pizza grilled cheese, a brisket grilled cheese. It was just basically every type of grilled cheese you could imagine. They'd have a different specialty one here and there. Um, there was a place that I can't remember what the name was, but they did meatballs, and they were specialty meatballs. They were about as big as your fist, and you could get them on a slider bun. Like they would split them
I
in half
feel
and
like
put
I
them on a
had that
slider bun.
place.
And like one was a chicken parmesan meatball, like it was a chicken meatball. One was a something. Yeah, they would have different types, and it was fantastic.
There was a
And
meatball restaurant in Newport for a little bit, but they didn't
this was
last
their
very long.
place. This
It
was their
didn't.
place. Yeah,
Oh,
it didn't last, and then they became a food truck.
their food was pretty mid when it was a restaurant, so I'm not surprised that they
It was
tried to
pretty
do
good
a
when it was
truck.
a food truck.
Okay, I hope it was
Don't be an
better when it was a
ass.
food truck.
Don't
It
be an
was
ass.
it was mid when it was a restaurant.
You grow up.
I-
I don't even want to know what I'm saying right now.
it was not palate pleasing.
Okay. Anyway, it was weird getting to see you in person today, but let me tell you.
You're always shocked that I'm still real.
Let me tell the people the weirdest thing for me to see today. Last week you said something on the pod. Or, well, I was watching the first 10 minutes of the pod where I had the VR headset on. And there was a couple moments where you went, nope, no, no. Today,
Yeah.
did your mind change maybe a little bit? Did you get to experience a little bit, a little taste?
So you came over with the RoboCop helmet,
The RoboCop helmet.
and I watched you do it for a moment, and then you let me try it out. You let me put it on.
Yeah.
Full review. You want like full review of the experience?
You don't have to give me a full review. Oh no,
Um,
no, that's fine. You can go ahead. I mean, you didn't get a full experience, but you got as quick of highlights as I could give you without tutorials and shit
I'm
like
eager
that.
for the one that they figure out that you don't need the deals. I like that. I get that. I get you have to have that, but my brain thinks it's like 3092, and it's like
Yep.
I just want to use my hands.
Okay.
So like I understand I have to do it, but my intuition, like I kept forgetting.
For everything but some of the games, you can do just your hands. There's a tutorial to teach you how. Like there is a
Right.
reach out, hold, pinch, and that's how you scroll. Turn your hand towards yourself and pinch your finger, and that's how you open a menu. There's some different. You got to kind of learn it, but they're getting more and more into that. That it recognizes your hands and individual fingers. It's close.
Like I jumping ahead a little bit, when I played the Batman game, I kept messing up the grab functions, like the different buttons for the different fingers like that.
Yeah.
And that was a fun experience because like it works, it was great, but like for me trying to like coordinate and be like, okay, these two do that, this and then this is all just one big one. Okay,
3 fingers is
grip.
one button.
let me
2
throw. Yeah.
My favorite part about watching you do it is you did the same thing I did in Assassin's Creed when you got in Batman. You looked at your hands, you turned them over and went, yes!
Because it does a
'Cause
great
that's-
job of
that's exactly what
making you see like the big Batman gloves when like,
Yeah!
you look
You got
down
the
and there
fucking
is
grip.
that moment where you're like,
You could pull the smoke bomb out of your glove and shit, and you're
I
kind of
didn't
like,
even that part. It was just looking down, seeing the big ass hands. It was
Yeah.
just like, okay, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
And then the other moment that was really funny to me is when you kneed that dude in the face and you had like the double hand grip on his shoulder,
Oh,
and you were like,
man.
yeah! Like, man,
This thing works you through a whole like tutorial.
you were going through a boxing regimen,
of-
it felt
of
like.
you have to learn like punch, hook, jab, hook, and then eventually it would highlight both sides of the guy's head, and then I just grabbed him, and then instinctively, and I think you even said at one point, you're like, knee him in the face. I'm like, okay, and I pulled it down, and Batman just wham, and it nails the idea of satisfying. It really does
feels
nail
like-
the idea
yeah.
of like, okay, you're walking around a real place. Like it is shockingly immersive. I didn't think it was
shockingly immersive. Like, there's
Didn't
points that
think
you
it was
almost
gonna be
stumble.
as
You
immersive as
gotta.
it
It tricks your mind at points that you almost fall over, and you gotta really maintain.
I had a virtual boy as a kid. And that's what I thought of is like, I'm just gonna be sticking my head in this thing, and it's just gonna be like, no, it's comfortable. You forget you have it on.
Yeah.
You're just like looking around. It does a great job of like the device, like making sure no light comes in, so you're not getting like distracted by like
Right.
anything that's going on.
Because when you
Uh,
first come out of it, I'll say once you're in it for a few minutes and you
it's
come out,
dark.
you're like, it's it feels like a baby coming into the world, like just that blinding light. Like what the good lord,
I,
welcome back to the real
I
world.
liked the augmented reality stuff too as well. There's a little tutorial you show me in the beginning where the
I
room
think
you're
that's
in,
yeah.
the
Explain
wall
that.
cracks open. It's like an alien background. These aliens are pouring in. You got little guns. You got to shoot the aliens to capture them. But all it is doing is showing you the functionality of the system. But that alone, to me, that was a great example of the same thing as Astro Boy for the PlayStation 5. Like Astro Boy originally is the little like
I
intro of
haven't messed with that at all, but I
how
hear
to
it keeps
use
winning
your
like
thing.
it won Game of the Year, Astrobot or something, or
Astrobot. But
yeah.
when you first buy your PlayStation, that was the tutorial on how to use your
I've never
PS5 was
messed
this
with
little
it.
robot.
No, it wasn't. It
There
never
was a
did that
video
for
there's a
me.
video in the beginning that you skip past it. There's a thing in the beginning where it shows you how to use it, and it's the little Astrobot, and that's where Astrobot came from. I got Kelly that game for Christmas, and I've been watching her
Huh.
play it. It's fantastic. It's so weird in a commercial though. Like the ship that you ride on from level to level is a PlayStation controller.
Oh yeah.
You're building your ship, and your ship is a PlayStation 5. Like the main hull attaches, and it looks like the top part of the PlayStation, and eventually it just turns into a big PS5 that starts flying around. But it's a brilliant platformer. It's a fantastic looking game. I can't recommend that enough from what I've seen her play of it. I haven't even played it.
Gotcha. I might have to look into that.
Mhm.
And then I definitely also wanted to make sure you got to experience, and you don't really use your hands for it. You're more inside of a 360-degree video that you're just kind of watching, and that was the wingsuit. That's where like I'll do a
All right.
peaceful kayaking adventure, or you could pretend you're on a beach or something. No, tell me.
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
That's neat. But if that was all it did,
Oh yeah. No.
I'm glad you showed me the Batman thing
Oh yeah.
first, because that's like, here's why you would buy one, not like the YouTube video thing. That was neat. That's very crazy looking because
You
you're
can go well.
essentially you're the dude's 360 camera
Yes.
while the dude is cliff diving in one of
Yes.
those like squirrel suits. But the thing that's really weird, and I kept focusing on,
Was him.
because it's him. He's dude skydiving. He's got the camera in front of him. So like you're looking,
You're
you're
not
like you're
supposed to be
flying,
looking
you're
at the
flying.
guy. You're
Listen,
looking forward.
Who are you talking to?
Why are you
Of
sitting
course,
there going, what's this guy's
I'm
face
looking
doing?
completely behind me and just watching the skydiver just, and it's just loud. And he's just. I'm looking.
You're not
back.
getting the point of the VR. It is
I'm
not
looking
to
back
get
at
you
him.
close to a man's face as he falls at
Looking back
200
at
miles
him,
an
just saying
hour.
to myself, I'm like, he's got a boogie in his nose.
He's got a boogie.
Oh my god.
It was not a VR experience to hunt for boogers in a man's nose. It was to show you base jumping in the Grand Canyon.
See, I want the scene from Cloverfield where the monster's like walking above you, and like I want that. I want
I didn't a
gigantic Cthulhu, like storm. I want like Godzilla. Like that's the stuff I want to see in that.
I did an experience that was like where you pull up on same thing, 360 video, but you pull up Jurassic Park style to a brontosaurus that's eating, and seeing that happen kind of is the old. It felt like, what was his name in the movie? Dr. Alan.
Dr. Grant. Dr. Grant. Alan
Was it
Grant.
Alan Grant?
Dr.
Yeah.
Alan Grant.
When Dr. Grant and what's her name see the brontosaurus for the first time, or brachiosaurus. I don't know my dinosaurs anymore. I grew up.
Jackets beat the Sharks.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there another game on? That's the only thing is I got this service, the FanDuel Sports Network. I got like 3 free months of it. The only thing about it though is if it's not the game with it, it'll show you games not in your region, and when but it'll be like here, it'll show it, it'll make a tile for it, like, oh, you can watch this, but as soon as you click it, it goes, you don't get to watch it.
That's the thing I meant to show you.
The idea of things being blocked out in your own area is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
Yes, it is 100%. That's the thing I meant to show you today, was the immersive experience of, and I truly think it is the future for concerts. Well, not the future, but a future option. And what I love about VR, and that I've always thought that I'd love to do, is take a 360 camera around, and like what you could do is for people who are in a nursing home or kids who are in a hospital or something. The idea was always take a 360 camera, go to the zoo, and talk to the camera like it's a person on a tour. Like, hey, let's go see the pandas or whatever. And you could go, and you could put together like an hour-long video that somebody could wear that mask and get the experience that they're at the zoo on a tour with people. You almost could see the immersion of, let's sit the camera here for a little bit, let's sit this here.
I think we manipulate people. I think we charge people to film, like, hey, your grandma's dying.
No.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tape like the best day ever with your grandma. You can hang out, do whatever you want, and then you get that video.
I made a video.
And then we're gonna charge you $35 every time you want to experience that video.
That's terrible. I'm
Look,
sitting here coming up with ways for
with
people in nursing homes and children in hospitals, and you're sitting here trying to manipulate people.
No, we're gonna make some.
I'll tell you what I did once with my 360 camera back in the day. I've definitely, someday soon, well, someday in the future, I will get myself a new 360 camera so I can start making my own 360 clips again. Because what I did one time was, my parents have a greenhouse that I love in the rain, and I put the 360 camera in there during the rain and let it record for 10 minutes. So then I basically would every now and then load up the video. This is back when I had the Samsung Gear VR, where you would put your phone in the headset and use your phone as the VR. But I would go and load that video up, and then I could just sit there, and I was exactly where my camera was. But what was weird was watching myself walk back into the room and walk up to myself and look into the camera. Because you have that moment where you're standing up full size, and you see a full-size version of you come in to turn the camera off, and it's like, wow, this is what other people see.
That is weird.
And then I realized why I'm sad.
It's some like Minority Report, like I'm watching it happen.
Oh man,
remember that movie, Minority Report?
I never saw it.
It was
Tom
weird,
Cruise, right?
Yeah, you understand the premise though. Like he runs a company, or runs a department called Pre-Crime. They have these like telepaths, and these telepaths can like predict. They specifically have them tuned in to predict crimes before they're gonna happen. So they know.
Wait, you know what?
Murder his wife like before he murders his wife, and arrest him as he's walking in with the knife to do it, because they line up to where they're like, "We caught you in the act."
I saw the second half of that movie actually. I remember that now, because I remember them like trying to get ahead of things before they happened and stuff like that. And yeah. Anywho, big news happened today.
Big news. Very big news. Especially if you play video games. Your wallet's going to not like it, but it happens.
Did you hear something about that? I don't know anything price-wise what they're talking. And
I don't know the price, but I'm not anticipating a positive experience with it. They're going to make it about $400. In case you don't know what we're talking about, Nintendo today announced the Switch 2 is coming out, is going to be released.
For those that aren't familiar, let's just go back to Nintendo, then Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, the Nintendo Wii, GameCube, then you got the Wii. After the Wii, you got the Switch. Now you got the Switch 2. What I noticed that is interesting to me is, you know how the Switch made such a big deal out of the sliding in of the controllers, the cha-ching, cha-ching?
That's the thing that bothers me the most.
They don't slide in, they push in. I
don't know if I'm a big fan.
They push in now. Well, supposedly the controllers are also, and they think they're mice. Did you hear that theory?
I see that. There's nothing proving that other than there's nothing to that other than in the video they scurry around on the tabletop.
They turn it
Like,
up and put it inside of like almost like a little optical sensor dock, like to use like a mouse. And I don't know what your reasoning for that would be. I've heard two different theories. One is
a
to
new
give you
Mario
better,
Paint. No, new Mario Paint.
yeah. Oh, new Mario Paint. Okay, or games like Civilization and stuff like that.
Oh, you'd have me if I could play like point and click, like XCOM Civilization
Give
style.
me Command and Conquer. Give me Starfield. Give me
To-
Lord of the Rings: Battle
Can I
for Middle
sound
Earth.
terrible about what game I wish they would remake and do a new version of?
Oh no, what is it?
Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
I don't know if I'm familiar with that.
You've never played Romance of the. We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to
I don't
that.
believe so.
But the Switch 2. The Switch 2
Yeah.
got announced today. The controller, in my opinion, the screen is a screen. Whatever. They made the screen bigger. Let's see if are there other photos here on this article. Yeah. So like the screen itself is bigger. Whatever. You could make them eventually just play it on the television. I honestly play mine on the TV a lot more than I play it in handheld mode anymore. So the screen size isn't that important to me.
Yeah.
The controllers, as you said, they used to like slide in on the sides. Now they push and click in to the sides. I'm not a big fan of that.
They look. I'll say this: if the system is running more powerful, which it needs to run more powerful, because games just don't. I mean, FIFA and soccer looks okay. It looks good handheld, but once you blow it up on a big TV or a 4K TV, you can kind of tell the differences between we're not playing on a PlayStation 5 or we're not playing on an Xbox. They need to close that gap a little bit when it comes to the power of the system. I think number
I
one.
don't think that that's going to change because also I think that's a big part. I think that also has a lot to do with content.
There's a second button. Did you notice there's a new button
Nintendo
they've added?
games need to run like Xbox games need to run.
Did you notice they added a new button? If
Where's
you
the new
look
button?
over on the right side below the joystick, there's the home button, and then right below that
Oh,
is another button that's oddly shaped. If you could only zoom in one more
Oh,
time
right
to
here?
that home button. Yep, there's another button right there. They've also added another USB-C port, which is kind of nice. That way, if you're docked, you could also still use a USB-C port if you need. I don't know what you're using it for, but the thing
Yeah,
that
I
I
don't need to-
like
I don't
the
need to
most,
hook
you
it
know
up
what
to
got
that
me
many
excited?
things.
Let me tell you what got me
What?
excited. Mario Kart 9. They in the opening they show a new Mario Kart and there's only a couple little things they showed from it that make it seem like it's new. But one of the interesting features is when they zoomed over the track, there wasn't 12 starting positions, there was 24.
Yeah.
It looks like you might be able to do 24 person races and stuff like that.
I'm not a big fan of a new game format though. Like, you
It
know,
wouldn't be. Don't give me a new format. Just be the
no,
be Mario
they've said
Kart.
there are going to be there are going to be new. I mean exclusive games that only work on the Switch 2. That's what I'm saying, and I wonder if it's going to be like an Xbox PlayStation thing, where it's like PlayStation 5 versus like somebody has it on PlayStation 4.
You mean the fact that you have a Switch right now? You're not going to get Mario Kart 9.
That's the problem. That's why this
No, I believe
$400.
you.
I think it's going to be a $400 price tag. I think it's going to be a $400 device.
That sounds about unfortunately right.
And I think you're looking at Switch games. I think we're looking at the $80 game. I think Switch 2. I think you're looking at the $79.99 retail point.
That's absurd.
It's where else are they going to go? It's $69.99 right now. It's 10 more bucks because they said it's a new system. That's the problem. Like we are creeping towards the $100 video game very, very quickly.
No, they already have it out there. It's with all those DLCs
No,
and
no, I'm talking
bullshit and add-ons and
the base game. I'm talking like when you go to Walmart, when you
I
go
won't
to
spend
when you
$100
go to a
for a
grocery
base game.
store,
I don't go. I
you
don't.
see
No.
$69.99 as the primary retail point for most AAA video games.
I have my subscription services, and they give me my games that I play. I'm fine with those. There's very few things that I buy.
Brendan, in 3 systems, Assassin's Creed, whatever,
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed Bill Clinton is going to come out, and it's going to be $99.99 one day. The base version in like 2 more video game system iterations.
You use Lewinsky to distract him. That's how you sneak into the office.
God. You have to sneak past Hillary. You have to like sneak through the house. He takes the saxophone, he blows into it, and a little dagger comes out of the bottom. Stabs people with the saxophone dagger.
I'll say this. I have no. The Switch is a great system. I love
Fantastic.
it. A lot of what I get from the Switch is the nostalgia and the vintage games, and I'm already getting those from this
part of the Switch.
I'm already getting those from the Switch that I have, so I'm probably going to be one of those people who's not. I have no desire to buy it right off the bat. Let it happen. No. Let it be out for a few years.
Yep. I'm gonna let stuff rock. Let stuff pop. The problem is games are going to come out like. Hopefully,
I'll get a used one in a few years.
The problem is that if the new Mario Kart is only available on Switch 2, that's going to be the problem.
Yeah, that would probably be annoying.
Nintendo could create a market. They could 100% do this, where they say, you know what, things come out on the Switch 2 first. The rest you have to wait 6 months to a year before you get Mario Kart.
Yeah,
which
I can see that
would be a bummer. But
that's commerce. If we still get it, that would be amazing.
That's commerce, baby.
So speaking of games, we're going to do some gaming shortly, aren't we?
We are. We're going to play some video games here in a little bit. Before that, I think we need to do a shot.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Why oh, no?
I don't know. Shots just never end up good for me. Let's see what we got in old
I only have one shot left out of the Party Horse series. We have Party Horse's Pony Punch. Let's see if we can balance this on the mic. Party Horse's Pony Punch. This might have to be my new gimmick.
Pony Punch.
Putting the shot glass or putting the airplane shot.
Pony Punch. Is my pop filter working for Pony Punch?
That's going to be in the card. This is going to be in the card for like the episode. Like that's where we're going to take it.
That's the one. That's going to be the one. That's going to be the one right there. It's going to be terrible too.
This is Party Horse Pony Punch. What do you got?
I don't know. I got a bag.
You don't know? Reach in that bag, baby. Reach the hand in that bag. That bag looks soft, by the way.
It's very soft.
It looks soft. It looks soft and thick.
You know what it was meant for?
What?
To protect a camera lens. So yeah, it's
soft and thick.
Soft and thick. Oh god.
That's my nickname.
Soft and thick. Your jokes make me laugh and sad all at the same time soft for you.
Mike, soft and thick. All right. What do you got?
Mine doesn't sit on my microphone.
Don't do it on yours. Don't do it on yours.
Okay. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be 99 blue raspberries.
99 blue raspberry. Okay. Okay.
Oh. It's like the horrible second version of 99 pink balloons. 99 blue raspberries.
We got Party Horse Pony Punch.
Let me give you an initial smell.
I wish I could I might have to.
Oh, Windex. No.
All right.
Okay, maybe a Pixie Stick, but it's Windex and Pixie Stick.
I'm going to call this microphone shot. So you ready? You ready? No.
Oh God.
That's disgusting. Even
you were about to do it like the old. Yeah, I know.
I would have felt like a bad girl.
The bachelorette party shot. We both were on the same page.
And it's called Pony Punch. How fitting is that?
I don't want to do this.
All right. Cheers.
I really don't want to do this because this looks like dog shit.
Oh, this is going to taste like fruit punch. It smells like fruit punch. I hate fruit punch.
Here we go with Smurf.
Cheers.
For your entertainment. Oh,
Somebody needs to shoot that horse. Oh God.
oh.
Glue factory. Glue. We're gonna play a video game here in a minute.
It's dusty, and it's like a slushy's gone bad. I don't know why it reminded me of being at the movies as a kid with something that's too sweet.
I feel like that's our t-shirt slogan. It's dusty. It tastes
It's
dusty.
dusty. It tastes dusty.
It
Oh.
tastes dusty, baby. It tastes dusty, baby.
Dusty roads.
Dusty roll with sweet babies.
The son of a plumber.
We're gonna play some video games. Make sure you tune in. It's gonna pop in under the name
gonna play
Dudes
some hockey,
After
right?
Dark. We're gonna play a game of hockey.
Yeah. By the way,
Um,
we're apologize in advance for anybody
For
whose
what?
phone. No, I want to apologize to the people. If you've had a phone and you are subscribed to us, by the way, subscribe to us. Make sure you click that bell. You'll know when we go live anytime.
Notifications.
We go live randomly. I went live an hour before the show tonight doing a little bit of Alan Wake. It was
Randomly
delightful.
playing Magic. Brendan was playing Magic, or Brendan watched me play Magic when he came into like the studio
I did.
before we did this.
Yeah. You never know. You never know if we'll both be in or if one of us will be in. Brendan looks like Bob. 100%. I did. That was one of the worst shots I've
Inside.
ever done. No, 100%. Yeah. No, that hurt my soul. But what was I saying? Quit distracting me, you bastard. I don't want your comments. I'm just kidding. Sorry. No, we want your comments. Talk to us. We're gonna play some hockey. We're gonna
Tell
do
them to
the
like and
Fortnite.
subscribe.
Like and subscribe. I was apologizing to the people because of the notifications on the phone. I am
Notifications.
sorry
Dudes
that your
After Dark.
phone has a notification that pops up that says "Dudes After Dark."
I'm not
Because that
sorry.
sounds like a B level porno.
That is good marketing.
Dudes After Dark.
Good shit.
We have disappointed so many men tuning
I
in
wanted to
that
call
are
it.
wearing nothing but the old
No,
demolition
I
outfit.
wanted to call
like
it
the
hot
black
dude on dude
strap that
action.
comes.
I
Hot
wanted
dude
to
on
call
dude
it
action.
hot dude on dude action, and you wouldn't let me.
You won't play enough head-to-head games. Oh, yeah, you won't.
Dudes
You're
head to
scared.
head.
I brought this. Oh, come on. It's like on Letterkenny.
That's how you get people
Touching-
to click the button. That's what it's all about. You have them go, ooh, hot dude on dude action. Click.
But then they get disappointed when they get there.
Story of my life. We'll see you on the next part. Dudes After Dark. Make sure you like, subscribe, click that button. I'm Mike.
I'm Brendan.
This has been another episode. Make sure you stay with us. Love us.
We'll be
watch
back
us.
in like 10 minutes or so.
Got 2 empty horse bottles here.